Rina.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, now
How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
All right. Where are you calling from? Hong Kong or?
Cambodia.
Oh, Cambodia. Wow. How's the situation there?
So far okay. So I mean the pandemic hit, right? Actually, is quite well controlled. I think the vaccinations process is very fast. The way the government doing here is very efficient, which they actually work close to the public rather than set a so-called centers very far from the residential, but they are not. They are working to the residential area and then doing pretty fast. Including myself, even is aspects, right? But we already offer for the vaccinations. I already done my first dose.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. I think that's the right strategy, right? Bring the vaccine to the people, right?
Correct.
Well, anyway, in essence of time, just like to thank you for actually sharing your precious time with us. Although in 30 minutes, I'm not sure how much we can uncover about yourself and GC Life, but I think that's a good start to introduce you to the community. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Perhaps is more of like a free flow of chit-chatting, right?
All right.
So nothing formal. So I'd like to start with greeting the other members. So welcome to Asia Community podcast series. My name is Rina. I'm actually one of the co-founder and investor of Asia CEO and C-Suite. So we actually plan to do this more often with our members. We believe in getting an email and getting probably a profile link in is not a way of communicating. While having this pandemic, we do what we can, even via Zoom, and we hope that one day we will able to meet up like in the past before, right? So thank you again, Michael, for joining us this morning. So the first question that we have, the burning question, is that you don't look like you are from Cambodia. About yourself, where are you from and how did you end up in Cambodia?
All right, actually, I'm a Malaysian. All right, I born in the small town called Palo, right, in the southern part of this Malaysia, right, which is from Johor Bahru. My hometown Palo is somewhere near Keluang, right, the district of Keluang. So basically, I think after the graduation from the University Putra Malaysia, right?
UPM.
Yeah, UPM. Actually, I'm graduate in the forestry science.
Wow. It's actually sought after now because people are going into sustainability, climate change, it's becoming more pressing issues right now.
Correct. Yeah. But when I mention forestry science, actually a lot of people will be surprised. They say, hey, Michael, you are now in finance sector. How come you're too different? What you study and what you ended in, right? But I think for this part, it's not really a concern. Sometimes what we study doesn't mean that we will end up right with what we have studied on that part.
Exactly.
Right? So what happening after the graduate? So I go for interview, right? Basically, I have two opportunity to be offered, right? One is in the oil palm plantations as the estate assistant manager, right? And then another one is this the so-called only the business development executive, right? We want the insurance company. I would like to thanks to my superior, right, in the financial sector, which is insurance lines. Actually, during the interview, right, he made a very fast approach and convinced me. Hey, Michael, oil palm plantation ceiling is the limit, right? Every day you go out, you only see your oil palm, right, doing all those things only, okay? But if you come to financial sector, right, insurance line, it's very interesting part, right? Then he described that sky is the limit. So you want the sky or you want the ceiling? So yeah, I think he put a very strong message, and then subsequently, right, the company I joined, actually we have the corporate tie. So what the action he did, actually he very fast. He take a few ties for a corporate tie for me. So Michael, you bring this tie back, and then just get a blessing from your father. You say, and that you want to join insurance lines.
So, okay, your superior is very smart, right?
Very smart.
Still on. For a young man, right? Like, you know, you give the young man sky's the limit, right? Why? Of course, I take the sky, right?
Correct, exactly. So the time actually being attracted, and I think his action is already the close deal, right? Very fast action, close deal. Okay, so actually I would like to thank him, right, for giving this opportunity. So after joining the first company, right, ready, right, after the so-called on-job training in HQ, subsequently I was sent back to the branch, right, in the Johor State. From there, actually onward, right, I learned to be independent, right, because I even is the executive, right, but I need to manage a whole branch, act like the branch manager, including for the operation and everything.
Okay.
So from there, I learned out a lot of things, and then this has bring me to the 20 years experience in the insurance line. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah. So since the graduation until now, right? Same industry, just a few different company. Okay. Basically, I think when I move around the companies, right, the main thing is to learn out different type of management style, because I think insurance company have a different way of managing, right? Different people have different directions. So actually, I'm learning out what they are doing, right, in a different situation, how they handle things. Okay. So the opportunity always comes to me, right? People know my performance. Okay. So come and approach me. So after go through some local company, I also went through the so-called MNC, right? Multinationals corporates, including a so-called Manulife, Allianz, and then I ended in Malaysia is the AIA. Okay, yeah. So that is the story after serve AIA Malaysia for 3 years, right? The group office actually see my performance and know that actually I quite mobile. And then they offer me, they say, Michael, would you like to go to Cambodia, right, to help us to kickstart the business there? Okay, so that is in the year of 2016 December. So at the moment, actually, AIA's calendar year is still fall under November. Okay, so November end, the day they end, the next day actually I already take my luggage and flew over to Cambodia.
That's how mobile you are.
Actually,
living in a suitcase.
Exactly. Actually, I request my superior. I say, can you give me 1 or 2 days to relax and then pack my things? He said, no, Michael immediately had to fly over. I said, okay, on.
Okay.
I think this is the attitude that we need to have, right, in the so-called in the corporate worlds. All right. Yeah. So I think this is one of the reasons why I was selected by the group, right, to cross over to Cambodia. And interesting, right? When I cross over to Cambodia, first I thought Cambodia maybe just like the 70, 80s in like Malaysia, okay? But I get a surprise. Actually, here is quite well developed, right, in the Phnom Penh area, right? Tall buildings a lot compared to Johor Bahru. I would say that the tall building is more than the Johor Bahru.
It is. It is. My last trip to Cambodia, Phnom Penh, was I think about 5 years ago. I was really surprised with there was a Raffles Hotel there, right?
Yes.
Yes, I stayed there. I was like, wow, what? I thought I'd be staying some 2-star, like a hotel, but there's a Raffles Hotel there. I was like quite surprised. I'm sure it has changed quite a bit after 5 years.
A lot.
But the only memory I had of Cambodia, even if I was hosted by a very high net worth individual, potential partner in property, and we stayed in Raffles, and we ate at like restaurants and all this, right? But on the way, after 3 days and 2 nights on the way back to Singapore, I was really like going to die in SQ because I think I had food poisoning. Okay. So I realized could be the ice. Maybe they use tap water, right? So I guess the tummy was in. So that's the beautiful and not so beautiful memories of Cambodia. I hope next time when I go back, it won't be like that.
Yeah,
but it's developing a lot, right?
Yes, it's been developed a lot. Beside this so-called reference, actually they have a few more very high stars hotel, right? Rosewood. Wow. Marriott, now the DoubleTree is here. Okay, yeah, so quite numbers. especially right during the last 3 years, right, and they opened up the markets, right, and a lot of so-called investor from China have already coming in. Wow, that is a very big change.
Okay.
Big change. Yeah.
So Michael, you have spent 20 years in the insurance sector, right? So you probably have got like, to be your position today, right? You probably have been on the $1 million table round and all these awards, right? Now in those glamour days of yours in 20 years, and you're still doing it, so it just tells me something that you're really passionate about this industry. I will come to you, besides the financial return, right? What do you see but in that 20 years, right? I mean, it's not an easy industry to be in. If you are starting out as a potential financial consultant, they call it now, right? Previously, they call it insurance agent. Now more glamour, financial consultant, right? And it's regulated now, right? You have to go through a lot of tests, not like those days, right? So in that 20 years, right, what are one or two of the most difficult times that you've gone through? Is it during the financial crisis, or is it a client that you have to deal with that gives you like tremendous headache? Right.
Okay. I think a one so-called rectification. Actually, I'm not really in the sales, but actually I'm in management.
Management, yeah.
Management, but no matter how, right? Dealing with the so-called salesperson, right, is the same experience that we need to go through. Yes, actually the examination is now, especially in developed countries like Malaysia, Singapore, and all this, right? A lot we need to pass through, including management, right? We also need to sit for the exams. Okay. Yeah, I think the most challenging sometimes is really dealing with people, because this is a people business. Okay?
Yes, exactly.
When we are leading the agency, right, which is salesperson, actually they are not working for the company.
For themselves, right?
For themselves, they are our partner. So company have the target set for management. We need to deliver the so-called target, the goal. So it's how we work with the partners, right, to make them want to move, so that they will achieve their target and then also achieve what we want. Okay, so come for this part, right? We always need how to manage the people. Okay, I think always be my style, right? I always like to very direct with them also. Okay, so the way how I talk to those people is I coach them. I tell them why they need to achieve. Okay, what is the real intention why they join this industry? All right, they are not here for part-time just for fun. Okay, so this is the hot button that we need to find out. Everyone have a different hot button when they want to join. Okay, for so-called the financial planner or whatever, right? They have different. Some come from rich family also have, but what they are looking for, a platform, a recognition platform. Okay, some come from poor family, so these type of people, they are looking for a more stability on the in terms of the income and the financial. Okay, and some, right, they like to take challenge, right? They cannot stay for very stable life. They like to have a challenge. They like to travel around. So as the management people, we need to find out what is actually the hot button behind, right, the dollar. Okay, if you only talk about dollar, it will move.
Yeah, especially now, young millennials, right? They have very different perception of the world, right? They want to be like maybe Avengers. They think that they want to save the world, and even if they want to earn money, they want to earn money and also maybe have some impact, right? So and they no longer have the mentality of, oh, okay, let's work hard and save, and then when I'm 50, 60 years old, then see the world. They will just see the world as and when they like, especially with all the travels, and of course now not, but with the airlines, the budget airlines opening up. I think I really like the Air Asia motto, right? Now everyone can fly, literally. Right. I mean, 20, 30 years ago, when we were starting out, I remember, I'm Malaysian too, but I'm from Penang. But I remember coming to Singapore, I had to take a bus to go back to Penang for like 7 or 8 hours at least, because SQ and MH was so expensive. But now, I can take it every day, because it's like $100. right?
Exactly.
So I think things have changed, right? And in the finance industry, even banks are no longer banks. They sort of call themselves fintech companies, right? And they realize that they are actually sort of competing with the new financial services, which is the digital bank, right? Now, in that context, right, how does this fintech trend and what's happening in the world, right, affect insurance industry? Like, could be in the past, maybe, I can only buy insurance, by going to an AIA, agent or through the website. But now I can buy it anywhere. Like in Malaysia, I remember my car insurance, I basically can go to, I think, I don't know, my EG, and then there are aggregators, right?
Yep.
So in your perception, right, how does this fintech or technology, has affected your industry, and do you see them as a threat, a collaborator in future?
Okay, actually 20 years ago when I started joining the insurance line, right, during one of the workshop, there's one point that I highlight to my company. I say, get ready for the e-sales. So that moment, actually all my colleagues is telling me, nonsense, right? No way.
Because it's a people business, right? Maybe see lim kopi and
Exactly. Right. Don't talk about e-application, all this, but I told them, right, things will change. All right. This really happened right now, right? 20 years ago when I talked, right now it's starting to happen already. Okay. Talk about the fintechs, right? I would say that if for general insurance, right, straight through processing style application, yes, it will be affected very fast. Okay, you can see from actually from China, right? A lot of those simple products, the travel products, the travel insurance, motor insurance, they can buy online very easily. Okay, I was informed even they have a very short terms protections, right, for travel out, just 1 hour, 2 hours start of product they can buy also 1 or 2 hours. I get, wow, amazing.
Yeah, actually, I like that concept of sort of like give the flexibility back to the consumer, because like, for example, right, I buy insurance policy, so it's fixed every month, is like that, or every year is like that. But certain days in the month, I would be engaging in a more high risk activity. For example, I choose to go skydiving, right? So can I just buy, additional policy, because chances of me, mati or is higher, right? Or maybe today I feel like I want to take my car for a spin, right? So that flexibility is happening, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
As I say, in general insurance, right? Basically this will be faster, happen more faster than the life. The life insurance, no matter how, right? People still want to know more clearly. Okay, yeah. So it's still more to what I call the face to human to humans, right? Person to persons type, what we call the soft touch style selling. Okay, so for life insurance, okay, it will take some time, but actually, frankly speaking, during this pandemic period, right, it has been a speed up. Okay, last time we still can face-to-face talk, right? I still can touch you a bit when I talk about something, so right, so make you touching. But now, we need to use virtual, right? Virtual talk, right? Just like that. All right.
Yeah.
Presentations. And the insurance company, those have started out with a program which allow, right, we just give you a password or whatever, go inside our system to keep the signature, right? No need to meet you to have the signature. So this process have been speed up due to this pandemic situations, right? I can see some company in Malaysia or in others developed country, when they already get ready on this part, actually their business during the last 2 years, right, is growing. It's growing, yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's very much depending how fast we speed up, right? But I would say maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, right, life insurance part also will be affected some. Okay, some simple product will be introduced, okay, which can be online, right, to be sold, okay, to be sold. Just like actually my company, right, I have a plan, because we are very lucky that we have one plan, right? Insurance plan is 1 year term. Normally 1 year term do not have for life insurance company.
Yes.
It's more in general. Because we are here in Cambodia, it's a newly set up, and it's only 9 years, right? The life insurance company exists. So the regulator granted us. So for this product, what I'm thinking is I will post it online, okay, which they can buy online because 1 year very simple, right? We can do the straight through processing way. Yeah. So this is the first thing that may happen.
Okay, good. Michael, so you've got a very interesting, 20 years in the pop industry, and now that you are in a new geography, a new I would say high growth country, right? Cambodia is going to be like Vietnam, but it is also a country where people are quite worried going in there, right? Just like it probably it's not going to be like Myanmar, but I've got some friends who ventured into Cambodia for property and for more of heavy infrastructure, buildings. Just one quick question, since I'm a tech investor, right? Do you have any idea how the tech ecosystem is happening? Because I think that in your line, right, you probably are looking at some perhaps have some eyes on the fintech industries in Cambodia as well, right? In terms of banking. How is the banking system there? Is it, very mature or coming up?
I would say the banking system now is coming up. All right. Just so coincident, actually, I have a talk with a colleague yesterday. This colleague had been in Vietnam, right? So he said, Michael, you don't surprise. Actually, Cambodia's banking system, right, in certain ways, more faster than the Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I have posed a question to them. Is it because Vietnam have a lot of more on the control under the locals company to manage it only? Then his answer to me, he said, yeah, basically it's more on that, right? No doubt there are a few, maybe so-called foreign the bankers or whatever, but not that much. But in Cambodia, it's a lot, especially for the last 2 years. There's a lot of new licensing being granted to the foreigners. Okay, so new foreigner coming in, so make the whole thing change pretty fast, right? But if you compare to the 5 years when I just coming in here, then still very far. Okay, but right now it's speed up very fast, and a French thing, right? In using the mobile payments, I think is pretty good. Okay. For example, I like to use one of the banks so-called the ABA, right? It's very convenient. I go to here, I can just pay by the QR code, right? I can transfer my fund very easily, right? Compared to some other banks, not yet, but this one is pretty fast. So the rest now start to learn about that. I think I would like to praise the regulator, right? Which is the NBC, National Bank of Cambodia, right? The person in charge. She's pretty fast, right? She like digitalizations. Yes.
Wow. A woman in power. So woman is quite decisive, actually.
She involved a lot of platforms which is trying to encourage digitalizations. So I think for MBC side, they did a very well things, right? So currently we have regulators that have reformed some committee which combine the so-called we have a bank, we have the property, we have the insurance line to be under one another work so-called committee. So I believe using these new platforms, right, insurance lines in terms of digitalizations, right, will be even speed up faster. So for the bank system, right, the so-called the fintechs, okay, is more advanced right now. Okay, but it's also a good times, all right. If any investor thinking want to coming in, okay, it's also a good chance because they are still open for offer licensing.
Oh, okay. That's a good hint to our Asia CEO members. I think actually there are some of them who are in this industry. But I think conversation like this is helpful because our members will hear it firsthand, right, from someone who is in Cambodia speaking to us live, right? Okay, so Michael, just the last bit of this conversation, right? Tell us a little bit about your current company, GC Life, and how did you end up being with them? Did they headhunt you? Did they like put you like please come, and then you took your bag again, like the day after you left?
Yeah. Okay, actually, as I mentioned just now, right, I crossed over to Cambodia, right, is to assist the AIA to set up the new business. Okay,
Yes.
so after about 2.5 years, okay, so I get to know this chairman of this new company, my current company. What's happening actually, right? A a year ago, before I joined them a year ago, actually I should have an opportunity to meet him, but due to certain circumstances, actually I did not meet up. But 1 year later, the whole appointment was delayed for 1 year,
Wow.
and then I will get to meet up again. Okay, so during the junction, actually there's something happened to that company a little bit, right? In terms of some top management risk, which I put in my interview side. Okay, so he personally found that it's a little bit look like a little bit weird the way how they run the business, right? No doubt they are getting from experienced people from China. Okay, so when they talk to me, I say, okay, let me come in because I like to help this industry to be grow. Okay, that's the reason I say, okay, let me contribute my experience, right, to help you to see what's happening. Okay, so there's a time that I coming in as a deputy, so to observe the whole operations. Okay, see what's happening. So when I coming in, right, just within 1 month, I noticed, right, that's the management risk. Okay, there's always a mistake that from some peoples when we come out from other country, we have experience. So we go to another new places, we'll bring all our experience, right?
Yeah.
To another place, just plug in, right? All the knowledge, experience, the strategy in. But this actually will be a mistake. Okay, basically we need to adapt to the culture and learn what's actually the culture here, how the people works, right? What is the needs of people first, rather than just what we call I use the word hard landing. Bam, you just follow my way. Okay,
Yeah.
so actually the internal staff also have some so-called rejections after a while. Okay, so the momentum is not good. So end out, right, I have to propose to the chairman. Also, this is also a tough part. I say, if you want to change the company, you need to restructure, including remove some of the top managements. Okay, then I
Total
think
restructuring.
total, I would say total, right? We have removed, including the top position, the CEO and the GM positions. All right. It's not because I want to step it up. Okay, no. Actually, I told them I propose another person for them. Okay, but then I say, Michael, I more trust on you. So I say, since you give me a trust, let me have a try on this. Okay, frankly speaking, in the past 20 years, I'm more on this so-called sales. All right. Yes, operation, I know a little bit here and there a bit, but if you want me to run the whole companies, right, it's still a new experience to me. But I think I'm very good luck, right? He give me the full support. Okay, and once coming in, right, as I promised, I will, after the big restructuring, I bring in the right person to coming in, right, from Malaysia, from other places, to the US or why, to bring in the right person to put in the right place that we need, and then come out all the structure against. So I would say for the last 1 year plus, actually is more on the building the fundamental in terms of the whole structures, the systems. Then this is a time, right? Starting from now onwards, right? We will kickstart. Just a little bit challenging right now, right? The pandemic break out sudden in Cambodia also. So actually we have been locked down for sometimes, right? I myself also been locked down for a few times already.
We all are. Even in a country like Singapore, right? I mean, it's not exactly like you can't go out, but limited, freedom. Right now, Singapore, you can't dine outside because we had a scare. We had like maybe 50 over cases, whereas in Malaysia we have thousands, almost nearing 8,000. Right? Then they decided to have a lockdown. But I guess sometimes comparing, just as you said earlier, right? Experience in one country does not mean you can do the cookie cutter model and just do it. How Singapore managed the pandemic versus how Malaysia and US manage it, just the sheer size of it, the culture of people and the resources that each of countries have. Of course, the leaders makes a huge difference, right? So that's a lot of factors, right? So because some people will just look at the very surface, just the headings of all the media and then make a judgment, right?
Yep.
But always it's easier to criticize when you're sitting at a position and doing the job is a lot more tougher, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly.
But just to probably wrap up everything, right? So now that you are in Cambodia, what are one or two things that you see, moving forward that you will be embarking? Like, what's your vision for GC Life?
Okay. I like to use the word to talk to my people is right. Currently, we are nobody because we are friends. We are very new company, no background, no group office or whatever, right? Starting from scratch, only 3 years. Okay, so I say we are now nobody. Nobody know about GC Life. Okay, but my aims, right, for the 5 years on the road or the future, right, we will become somebody. Okay, somebody that which the Cambodian know, right? This company is a sincere corporates, right, who come and helps Cambodians. Right, that's how we have the 1 year term. Actually, French speaking, we study the population and also the income, right, per capita for these people here. We can't really sell for too high premium unless we go for high networks people. Okay, there is always have a big gap, right? Very rich, very poor, very poor. In the middle, actually, right now is missing in Cambodia. Okay, so we come out the 1 year term actually is to help those not so rich people. At least they are getting protected. Okay, if maybe only about few thousands dollar, but it's a meaningful money to cover their financial risk. Okay, for the family. So I would say that, right, my vision and aiming, right, is to help the Cambodian peoples. So we are using the word is to inspire and enriching people's life. Okay, so Cambodia will be famous, right, in this way, right? There'll be somebody who is ready come and work to help the Cambodians, all right, to grow together with them. Yeah, not only looking for the premium returns.
Very good. I think you had a right mindset. I think the culture of the company, I can feel that is really about the people first, right?
Yep.
Like you said, do the right things right, money will follow, right?
Yep.
I think that's the very important, sort of mentality. Even with the startups, right? If you start with something with just money at the end, right? It will probably misguide you in somewhere along the way. But if you start with a really your passion, and then of course you have to be realistic that a dream is a dream until you put a step, you put a small step in executing it, right? Because everybody can dream is free, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Michael, for all the insights about Cambodia. I wish we have more time. So fellow Asia CEO members, if you are listening, I'm actually very proud that my fellow Malaysian Michael is, in this, they call it, still a mystical country, but we wish you all the best, and do come back to Malaysia when time permits. I think the country needs talent like you as well, but Cambodia got you first. Yeah, so if you guys are planning to go to Cambodia or to want to venture into Cambodia, I'm sure Michael is happy to assist us.
Yep.
To actually make our landing smoother, not a hard landing, because most of the time we go to a country, we just basically think that everything is the same. And usually even big companies, right, when they go to a new territory, some of them didn't make it because they thought they could parachute, whoever it is, right, and then start to actually give instructions. Actually, like you said, right, the people, if you cannot be a leader that commands their respect, it's very hard to move because they are still the local. Exactly. They don't want to move, you can charge all the way, like turn back, nobody is there. So I think your first 100 days must be really challenging, having to basically restructure whole thing, right? They say, in a corporate role, we always say, right, if a new leader comes in, right, you have to make very harsh decision in 100 days. If you want to clean up the mess, you have to clean it up within that period. Don't leave any little traces, because then it will come back and bite you. Yeah. So
Right.
I guess you maybe is worthy of another day of discussion, how you manage to get that sorted out. I'm sure it's not an easy job. So again, thank you so much, Michael, and for spending your precious morning with us. We wish you all the best, and I hope your company can really uplift the life of the Cambodian people. I think it's very important for those who are not able to access this kind of benefits because they were not in a good financial status, right? So making it easy for them is really very meaningful. Yeah. So thank you so much. You keep safe. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, thanks, Rina. Right, thanks, Rina. Also, thanks the Gary for arranging this.
Yes, Gary is there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.